Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about how Hedera could be the future of the international monetary system. So in a fairly recent clip I came across on Twitter featuring the creator and chief scientist at Hedera, Dr. Lehman Baird. Dr. Baird provided details in regards to a number of initiatives Hedera is currently involved in and how CBDCs could play a major role in finance. So Dr. Baird detailed how Hedera's innate qualities could make it ideal in development surrounding CBDCs.
It's about CBDCs. This is a hot topic right now. I think we're going to see a whole lot more. I'd love to hear your thoughts on where you see CBDCs going.
I think it's real. And there was a time when I wondered, are governments going to be too afraid of what's new to not do it? And I'm no longer worried about that. You're seeing small countries saying we're going to do CBDCs right away. You're seeing medium-sized countries looking at CBDCs. You're seeing really big countries doing it. China's interested in this sort of thing. The US Congress is talking about this sort of thing. I think we're seeing CBDCs being something real. And some of them will be a token on an entirely private network with lots of bridges to other networks. Some of them will be on things like our AppNet, where it's a private network, but it has Hedera for the consensus. Some of them will be done just on a network, like using the tokens on Hedera as a CBDC. There's many different ways of doing it, but it's not worth doing unless you're interoperable with the world. And so they'll definitely make it interoperable with the world. And Hedera will be playing a part of it. So either it's a token on Hedera, or it's an AppNet with Hedera, or it's a private network that has bridges to Hedera, or a private network that bridges to other networks but uses Hedera's AppNets as the bridge, all sorts of different permutations. The countries of the world are trying to figure out how best to do it. And it's an open question what they will come up with. If you are a voter in some country on this planet, please vote. But I think it's going to happen. At this point, I think it will happen widespread around the world. It's just a question of exactly what it ends up looking like. And so vote, tell your representatives.
Did you sort of just say that some of these countries are working with Hedera to do CBDCs?
I did not say those words.
Okay,
absolutely not.
Okay. Just trying to clarify.
So we talk to lots of people, but of course we can't talk about what we're talking about.
Of course,
so
right, of course.
Sorry for that.
I got it.
Nothing of announcements of a non-announcement. I love it. It is interesting to see just to think of this future of kind of this tokenization of everything.
So as detailed by Dr. Baird, it's looking likely that CBDCs will be a key component within financial activities which arise around the world. So the implementation and development surrounding CBDCs around the world will be most likely underpinned by DLT. So Hedera's network could be a viable option in development surrounding CBDCs, most notably due to the number of characteristics which makes Hedera the go-to option surrounding transaction validation and other financial activities, where Hedera is equipped with a number of features and capabilities, most notably its high TPS, its high finality rates, and its cost-effective nature, where through its base level, the Hedera network can potentially process over 10,000 transactions per second, and this is coupled with the network potentially processing an unlimited amount of transactions when sharding mechanisms are introduced to Hedera. So the potential for significant amounts of transactions being validated and enabled through Hedera's network could mean that Hedera could be a viable means of enabling transactions to arise within a wider economy and marketplace, and in turn Hedera could be a viable candidate and option surrounding CBDCs. So development surrounding CBDCs is coupled with the head at the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, going into detail surrounding how CBDCs could play a key role within financial activities which arise within the US, and how the development of a US CBDC could make the dollar a stronger vehicle in financial activities which arise not only within the US but across the world.
Looking forward, rapid changes are taking place in the global monetary system that may affect the international role of the dollar in the future. Most major economies already have or are in the process of developing instant 24/7 payments. Our own FedNow service will be coming online in 2023. And in light of the tremendous growth in crypto assets and stablecoins, we are examining whether a U.S. central bank digital currency would improve upon what is an already safe and efficient domestic payment system. As our white paper on this topic notes, a U.S. CBDC could also potentially help maintain the dollar's international standing.
So as referenced by Powell, the Federal Reserve published a paper indicating the potential benefits and implications surrounding the rolling out of a Federal Reserve CBDC, where the rolling out and implementation of a US CBDC could bring about a number of benefits, most notably in cases surrounding improving settlement procedures in cases involving cross-border payments. So the issuance and validation of cross-border payments through the utility of a DLT-backed CBDC will mean that workflows involving transactions around the world will be more seamless and efficient. So the Federal Reserve and its partners are actually conducting research surrounding their very own CBDC. So it's probably unlikely that Hedera will be implemented into a Fed CBDC, but Hedera is involved in CBDC developments in other nations around the world, where examples of Hedera's direct affiliation with central banks and fintech organizations includes Hedera's partnership with the fintech organization MTech, where MTech specializes in providing financial services and CBDC frameworks for central banks across a number of nations. So again, MTech is partnered with Hedera, and this partnership sees MTech leveraging the Hedera Consensus Service and tokenization service in its underpinning CBDC sandbox. So developments involving CBDCs, Hedera and MTech has seen MTech partnering and being in direct collaboration with central banks based in a number of nations around the world, most notably Haiti, Nigeria and Ghana. So MTech's direct affiliation with central banks in the mentioned nations will see MTech leveraging its Hedera-backed sandbox protocol in enabling transaction validation and CBDC frameworks to emerge, again through the utility of Hedera's Consensus Service. So it's not clear whether a private or a public variant of Hedera's Consensus Service will be implemented into CBDC developments in the mentioned nations, but most likely it will probably be a private variant of Hedera's Consensus Service. So as well as Hedera's indirect association with the mentioned central banks and its direct affiliation and utility by the fintech organization MTech, Hedera could also be at the center in enabling and validating cross-border payments and interoperability frameworks surrounding CB. However, such DLT will be based and backed by varying technologies. So, as mentioned, the Fed are looking to roll out CBDCs, but such CBDC protocols will probably vary compared to the likes of the MTech-backed CBDC protocols put forward by the likes of central banks in Nigeria, Ghana and Haiti. So due to this, an overarching interoperability mechanism and framework will be required to enable the cross-validation and interconversion of given CBDCs. So Hedera's network could be a viable means of enabling such actions. If we look at the history surrounding Hedera and the current projects Hedera is currently involved, where Hedera is currently involved in stablecoin initiatives around the world, where the Hedera Governing Council members, Shinhan Bank and Standard Bank, are set to implement and utilize Hedera's Consensus Service and tokenization service in instances surrounding the validation and the issuance of stablecoins, which will be underpinned and backed by the South Korean won and the South African rand fiat currencies. So the active utility of Hedera's Consensus and tokenization service in this instance indicates the benefits Hedera provides, especially in terms of its HBAR cryptocurrency, where HBAR in this initiative will act as liquidity. So HBAR could be a means of acting as liquidity in cases surrounding the cross-conversion of future CBDCs, where a standard stablecoin may be implemented in enabling the cross-conversion of CBDCs, and HBAR could be a mechanism to validate such actions and transactions. So the need for interoperability and for the issuance of private stablecoins was actually detailed by a publication provided by the Bank for International Settlement, where the paper went into detail surrounding how CBDCs and mechanisms surrounding interoperability will become increasingly more important when CBDCs are rolled out around the world. So as mentioned, Hedera already has a history and is currently incorporated in development surrounding the cross-conversion of CBDCs and stablecoin initiatives. So again, this could be a clear sign that Hedera could be a viable candidate in enabling interoperability frameworks to emerge and arise between future CBDCs. So with Hedera's direct involvement in sandbox and pilot schemes surrounding CBDCs in the likes of Haiti, Nigeria and Ghana, coupled with Hedera being involved in other financial activities and developments around the world, especially in cases surrounding stablecoins, Hedera could become a key component, not only in terms of acting as the underpinning infrastructure for given CBDCs, but also acting as a bridge asset which enables enables future CBDCs to interconvert, which in turn will be enabled and validated through HBAR, which in turn will act as liquidity. So despite a private variant of Hedera looking likely to be used in cases surrounding an individual CBDC, Hedera's potential involvement in cross-border payments and interoperability frameworks could see the direct utility of Hedera's consensus service. So if Hedera's consensus service is directly leveraged in cases surrounding the utility of HBAR, in cases surrounding the cross-conversion of given fiat CBDCs, this will mean that there will be sizable increases to the demand for HBAR, and as a result the price of HBAR may see synonymous increases. And as more, and if more organizations and nations or even central banks look to Hedera's network for CBDC cross-conversion and stablecoin utilities. What are your thoughts on Hedera? Do you think Hedera will be the future of global finance? Let us know your views in the comments below. Thank you for watching, Crypto Clan. Don't forget to like, subscribe and click on the notification bell. Let us know your views in the comments below. Thank you for watching and we'll see you in the next video.